Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be going over my top 10 non-void rares in honor of this weekend being 2x boosted summoning rates for Ancients, as you can see with the shiny blue portal we have going on here. I haven't done a rare rankings video for a very long time, so figured now is the best time to go ahead and update my top 10 non-void rares because a few new champions have come out since I did it and a few things have changed, so let's get into it. Alrighty, jumping right in at number 10 is a very good rare that I really very rarely hear anybody talk about, and that is Grinner in the Undead Hordes. Now, a base speed of 110 is one of the highest base speeds for a rare in the game, maybe the highest, and we've got an A1 that hits one enemy and then has a chance to place a 50% increase attack buff on all allies. On an A1, that's pretty solid. Then we've got an A2 that is an AoE we can book to a 3-turn cooldown that has a 50% chance when booked of removing buffs. AoE buff removal on a 3-turn cooldown is very solid. Then we've got revive an ally with 50% HP and place a shield buff on them for 2 turns equal to 20% of their max HP. We can get that to a 4-turn cooldown. So for a rare champion to have a revive on a 4-turn cooldown, a base speed of 110, the big version of increased ally attack on the entire team, and then AoE buff removal with ally resist and faction crypts, which isn't that amazing, but just all in all, a great kit, a great base speed, good base stats, and a very solid champion. At number 9, I'm going to be going over Thal. Thal is very well-rounded, obviously, one of the starter champions. Now, she's not going to be god tier, she's not ridiculous, she's just solid because she's got an A1 that hits 3 times and places Weaken. Weaken's a pretty good debuff to place on your opponents. Then she's got a 3-turn AoE, and she's got self-buffing for attack and defense. The defense does have a qualifier, but at least it's there. And like all starting champions, she's going to have a good base speed and a decent aura to boot. So very solid and worthy of at least being on the list. For number 8, I'm going to be going over Coffin Smasher of the Night Revenant. Now, Coffin Smasher is a very new rare to raid, so has not been on my previous list that were like 6 or 8 months ago. So an A1 that attacks one enemy 3 times, that's very good because we can pair that with Giant Slayer and really crank out those damage procs against the clan boss. And we're going to place the big version of Decrease Attack, which is a very important and vital role to get in that clan boss fight. So a very, very good A1 for a rare to have against the clan boss, which the clan boss is the most important area of the game in my opinion. We've got an A2 that also places an HP burn, which is very good against the clan boss, and you'll notice damage based on HP, so we can scale the champion to hit harder while we're making it tougher. So very good abilities. And then the passive ability that's just always there, reducing damage enemies inflict with AoE attacks, which again synergizes to do very well against the clan boss. So an insanely good and very useful rare to have for your account if you're looking to progress and do more damage against the clan boss. For number 7, I'm going to be putting Elaine. Now, Elaine has a base speed of 107. Compare that to Thal, had a base speed of 104. So very good for a starting champion to have that amazing base speed. The A1 is admittedly kind of lame. It's just attack one enemy and place an extra hit if critical. So not that great. But the A2 and A3, it's very uncommon for rare champions to have 2 AoE abilities. She's got the A2 that attacks one enemy, then all enemies, and has an extra 15% chance of inflicting a critical hit. Now, that's a very good effect for early to mid-game players who don't have perfect gear and can't get to a 100% crit rate very easily, because she's also going to place a 30% increased crit rate buff on herself for 3 turns, which is a pretty long time if a target is killed. So we can kind of help her to do damage on a very consistent basis in the early to mid game because of that. Her A3 is another AoE ability, which is very cool. Having 2 AoE abilities is very good for a rare. And then she's going to attack all enemies 2 times with obviously the same aura that all the starting champions have, which is increase ally HP in all battles by 15%. At number 6, I'm going to be going over Spirit Host and the Dark Elves. Now, the cool thing about Spirit Host is she's farmable from the campaign, so if you're willing to put in the work and the energy and the time, you can get her guaranteed by farming up a copy of her in the campaign. She got a base speed of 103, which is very good. Her A1 is attack one enemy, heal by 50% damage inflicted. Not that great for her. We're not usually building her as a damage dealer, but She's got an A2 that places a 50% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. This is very good. You pair her with champions that are attack, like Elaine, Kale, champions like that. She's going to make them hit a lot harder, especially in the early to mid game when you need more damage. The A3 is remove all buffs from all allies and place a block debuffs buff on all allies for 2 turns. AoE cleanse is extremely useful, and block debuffs is very good as well, especially for places like the arena. And she also has a speed aura in all battles by 10%. Now, it's not huge, but it is all battles. She's very common in the early to mid game for the arena because of the speed aura, the cleanse, the block debuffs, and the increased attack. At number 5, we have Soul Bond Bowyer. Now, she is also a very new champion, so has never been on a list before. And we've got an A1 that is AoE, which is always very good. AoE A1s are extremely useful, and it has a 25% extra chance of inflicting a crit. And she gets that on all of her abilities. 25% extra chance to crit, 25% extra chance to crit. What does that mean? Very good for early to mid game players, similar to Elaine, because you're probably not going to have a 100% crit. So she's going to be very good for people that are developing their accounts to be able to crit more consistently and put out more damage. The A2 is going to hit one enemy. Like I said, it's going to ignore 75% of the target's defense. Ignoring defense is extremely good, and the increased crit. Plus, we've got another hard-hitting ability with the increased crit and a chance to fully deplete the target's turn meter. Turn meter manipulation is very good. We get an aura that is going to be increased allied crit rate in all battles by 12%. Again, we're struggling to get crit rate. That can come in pretty handy for people that are trying to progress. So her kit synergizes very well. I think she's a very well-designed rare champion that can really help a lot of you out there if you're looking to progress new accounts. At number 4, going to be talking about War Maiden. Now, similar to Spirit Host, War Maiden is farmable in the campaign, so you're guaranteed to get her if you're willing to put in the energy and the effort, which is very cool because she's also very good. She's got an A1 that places poison. It is the small version, so it's not amazing, but hey, it's an A1, so any sort of bonus utility we can get is usually very handy. The A2 is attack one enemy, place a 50% increased attack buff on this champion, and places an extra hit if the attack is critical, which is going to be very common for her because we're going to want to build her with high crit rate. The extra hit cannot be critical. Now, she's known for her A3, which is AoE, big version of decreased defense on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. That's one of the best abilities in the game in terms of account progression and helping your team deal more damage and being able to crank out and upgrade your speed in dungeons and also be an arena debuffer. It's just an amazing ability for a rare to have, especially on a 3-turn cooldown. So War Maiden is very commonly used by early and mid-game players and is even viable for certain areas of the game in the end game. And number 3 is going to be Frozen Banshee from the Undead Hordes. Now, again, Frozen Banshee is a new rare that has never been on one of my lists before. And basically, what you need to know about her is she's one of the rare poison sensitivity champions in the game because that's a very new debuff. And she is a very end-game viable poisoner damage dealer, which you're always needing for the clan boss. Now, admittedly, she is not that great outside of the clan boss in many areas of the game, but with her being such a good poisoner and DPSer for the clan boss, which is the area that a lot of players are struggling in to do good damage for their clan, she's very important for a lot of you, who are struggling to kind of crank out DPS in the clan boss. She can really help. A base speed of 99 is pretty good for a rare, and with her being one of the best damage dealers in the game, for rares in the clan boss, she had to be pretty high on this list. At number 2 is going to be Kale from the Dark Elves. Now, we have a joke on my stream. I actually have a command for it, !first, because the first question that somebody new to my stream always asks, the answer is Kale. Kale is just so generally useful and so good. The first thing you should always do on a new account is max out Kale, and you won't be wrong. He's useful everywhere, and if you get into 6-star, he will help you progress your account. He definitely deserves to be super high on this list. He's one of the best non-void rares in the game. The A1 is attack one enemy that places poison. Anytime we place poison on our A1, very good. The A2 is an AoE with an extra 15% chance of inflicting a critical hit, which remember, that's very good for trying to progress your account. And fill the turn meter of this champion by 25% for each enemy killed. It can be very good in dungeons, as a campaign farmer, and all sorts of different areas of the game. Then we've also got attack 4 enemies at random, which is basically an AoE, and then a 40% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. So he can really be one of the best early game poisoners in the game for the clan boss and other areas. He's also one of the best arena nukers for early to mid game players. And then similar to the other starting champions, good base speed and HP aura. So just insane utility out of Kale, and he's an absolutely amazing champion. If you're new and you're getting him just now, definitely 6-star him. And at number 1, you already know if you're a raid player, Apothecary. Apothecary is an absolutely insane champion to get. If you're a new to mid-game player, you will use him literally everywhere. And like, I remember I used Apothecary in every single team I built for like 6 months. Every dungeon, clan boss, arena, absolutely everywhere. He's got the A1 that is a triple hitter, so it pairs well with Giant Slayer in the clan boss. He's got an A2 that heals a target ally by 35%, and it can be critical. It's on a 2-turn cooldown, so it's very consistent heals. And then he's got an A3 that increases speed on all allies and turn meter fill on a 3-turn cooldown with a defense aura in dungeons and an amazing base speed. So yeah, if you're a new player, even if you're mid game, you're probably going to be using Apothecary almost everywhere. So if you summon him, he is definitely someone you're going to want to 6-star and invest in, and he comes in at the number 1 position because of all those reasons. Alrighty, that is going to do it for my top 10 non-void rares in the game currently, in honor of it being during a 2x, ancient shard summoning rate weekend. So I wanted to get this out there so that some of you newer players are going to know exactly what rares to look for if you're cracking open a bunch of shards, which ones are good. I do have a link in the vid description to my full tier list so you can see all rares, epics, legendaries, and get a full comprehensive list. And you can also catch me on stream pulling a bunch of shards for myself and for viewers during this weekend. So check down in the description for links to those. And as always, stay safe out there. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.